I'm Katrina, this is Tare, and today I want to take you foraging. I'm going to be foraging out here in the pasture. Last couple of weeks I've shown you what I have in the pasture. Today I'm going after potentially 3 things. One is rose hips. That's going to be the major one that I'm looking for. I've been seeing that they are in fact ripening, so I'm going to be collecting a lot of rose hips. Number 2 is blackberries if I see them. So there's a few that were last weekend that were still berrying. So if I see those, I'm going to be collecting them. And number 3, which I don't know if I'll get to today or not, is elderberries. So I do have 2 elderberry trees on the property, and for those I will be cutting off the umbels and harvesting them that way. So I'm going to start on this side and go this way and circle back to where the elderberries are, just because elderberry bundles or elderberry umbels are going to be larger in size. I have a bag here. Yes, it is stained. It is not dirty. It is stained. And I have several gallon Ziploc bags in here, so once I harvest an area I can put it in there. And then I also have a basket, and then I was thinking for the rose hips I'll probably end up just throwing it, putting this on the ground and tossing things into them. Don't know if this is going to work or not, but that's why I have a bag, so I can carry everything. We'll see what works best and share that with you. And here we go. We're going after rose hips is the number 1 thing we're going after, and then the others are bonuses. And extra bonus if we find any plums, the little cherry plums, we might get a pair or 2. And also if there's any hazelnuts. So I did harvest hazelnuts before, and we'll see if there's any today. I think that's more unlikely, and if so, it's just going to be a couple. So there we go. All right, it is getting windy, so hopefully that is okay. And I've come to the rose hips. Some of the rose hips are doing good here. I'll actually bring you guys in closer. And I'm going to try using this. I'm hoping they don't bounce out. So when you harvest, especially if you're wild harvesting, sometimes it's hard to get into areas. You know, they're wild, there's other things in the way. So sometimes if you set something somewhere and are able to toss things into that something, it will work better. My only concern is it might bounce out of here. So I'm going to be watching that, and that's why I brought several different things. Here we go. There's actually dissected blackberry over here too, so I'm going to put this out for the blackberries. And you can harvest everything into one container, however then you have to separate it out. So I always think it's best if you harvest into whatever container they're going to be in, separated or not, and then I can go from there. Now a lot of these are not actually ripe yet, and some of them look overripe. I think I'll just eat the couple that are here and save this for later. All right, that one's sour. Okay, didn't want to harvest that anyway. It's in the shade, so it might be one of the reasons. Ooh, this has spikes on the rose hip. That's interesting. So this does go all the way up into the tree. I'm not planning on going all the way up into the tree, because that would just take forever and yeah, would not be fun. So I think now's the time. I'm going to put this on the ground and see where I can get to. I'm going to leave the ones that aren't quite ripe here. I could do a second harvest, or the animals can enjoy it either way. They're good when they're red. Another thing to consider is I'm reaching into thorns. So, all right, we have one more area here. Look how big this one is. Look at that one. So I've never mass harvested rose hips like this, but I've determined that every single one that I've had from the property so far are good, so I'm just going for it. This blackberry really wants to eat me, so we're gonna go to the next place. We got 2 pairs. Two pairs. There's a bunch of berries up there. They kind of look past their prime though, so I'm gonna skip them. All right, here's the next spot. Not very many ripe on this one. Let's see. There's a good one. They pick and choose on this plant. I don't think majority of them aren't ripe. Looks like that's all from that one. Now we're gonna go down into the corner. I believe was the next one. Guys, I know I just did the mapping project for the stuff out here. It's all in my head right now, and eventually I'll put it into a system that actually you can see, but I pretty much know where they are now, so pretty good at that. We were heading towards the really good ones. We've reached the far corner. The one I did a video on when I talked about vitamin C is around the corner here. These ones I'm not sure how many I can reach, but this is going on the ground and we're gonna find out, especially since there's sticks on the ground here. Actually, this might be from the same plant. It's so huge. Yeah, these ones are getting nice and soft. Maybe a little overripe, but they'll do the job. Not yet. I just found a froggy. All right, I was gonna go around the corner to the booming spot. So all this red right above me, it's all rose hips, and then it goes over there, and then just where we just were. So I'm gonna actually show you the bowl, and you can see how fast that fills up. So this is quite a bit so far, and I haven't even gone like halfway around, so I'm happy. I think we have one more in the corner here, and then along the edge of the fence. So this blackberry still has fruit on it, so after I get the rose hips over there, I'm going to be getting the blackberries, which is exciting. Blackberries at the end of September. What could be better? More blackberries and rose hips and elderberries. It seems the ones with that one, I don't know if it's a disease or a parasitic plant, but they are a little bit harder to get off of the plant. So, like, here's one. I just want to taste it and make sure they don't have a different taste, because they're hurting. It's still good. Okay. Good to know. Sometimes when plants are stressed, they don't taste as good. So I wanted to make sure. That actually tasted really good. So I'm going to continue. Sometimes when plants are stressed, they taste better because their goal is to be eaten so the seeds can get pooped out and they can make more. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them because it is quite thorny in here, but I'm going to switch containers and get my blackberries. So there was ones down by my leg. So I really like harvesting blackberries into this kind of container because I can then use it as a colander. So the same slots that are on the outside are on the bottom. So I don't even have to pour it into anything. It can just be used straight as this. If I didn't have containers, I would eat all of this, and we got to save some stuff. There's even unripe berries on here. This is the plant that had, they're one of two of the blackberries that had flowers a couple days ago. Which is impressive. Again, we have dissected leaf blackberry and the Himalayan, I believe. Alright, looks like this is the last little clump of berries from this berry, I don't know, berry patch? It's not really a patch. Oh, we have the true bug right there. So, not a bad little harvest for this area. I do see we have more rose hips on this side, so I'm going to go get my rose hip basket. Some funky lichen on here. I'll give you guys a close-up here after we get these rose hips. Alright, that's all I'm going to take from this one. There's more, but they're not quite as ripe, and leave some for the animals anyway. Let me zoom in on this tree, okay? This is, I think it's an ash. Yeah. This is an ash, and we can see it has some woodpecker damage, probably some sort of sapsucker woodpecker. That's what this is here. Damage, not damage. You can decide for yourself. It's nature. So this has some interesting lichens. So that's a lichen. This is a moss. See, there's green. When the moss turns green, or the moss gets wet, it turns green. It's another kind of lichen. But look at this. Oh, I gotta go on this side. Look at that beautiful lichen. Look how big it is. And we have a couple different kinds of lichen on the limb here. And then up this, there's see. I guess I gotta go this way on this one. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. All the way up. Okay, more blackberries. Now you guys are standing right now in the pathway the deer and elk take. They've made a pathway there. Okay, a lot of those are dried up. Let's see. These ones are good. Not as many off of this one as I thought. They're kind of started to dry a little bit. Looks like it's just this little clump. But we'll take what we can get. For those thinking, oh no, you're taking all the food from the wildlife. No, guys, there's enough. There's enough for them to share. I'm just getting the ones I can access. They can access more than I can. All right, on to the next rows. Okay, so we've reached another destination, and this has so many on it, guys. It goes way up into the tree. So we're just gonna take what we can reach and add it to our treasures. Minus the leaves. So I'm looking at this thing that is impacted, and I still don't know if it's a disease or a parasite, but it looks like it's, ouch, it looks like it's happening on the fruits themselves. So the plants that are affected have a bigger and more crunchy flower side of the fruit that I'm having to just crunch off. And I'll show you, I'll pick one. Well, maybe I'll just zoom in on here. So here's one. See, there's that. Let's see if I can get in the sun. See, there's like this fluffiness. That is actually on the fruit, and I think it must start from the flower end, which is this end. But it doesn't appear to affect the flavor of the fruit, so hopefully it's not affecting much else. I am noticing that these ones also have little spiky balls on the fruits themselves sometimes. So maybe it's a different variety? I have no idea. If you guys know what this is, let me know. So I'm not gonna harvest the ones that are fully encapsulated in that, but I will harvest the other ones. And because they tasted fine on the other one. Now this one does look like it has, let's see if I can get in here. It does look like it has, see those dots? Some sort of insect that might have gotten in. So I'm gonna discard that one, leave that one to the elk and the deer, and move on. It could be an insect parasite that makes that. I know galls on oak trees are made by wasps, typically, as far as I know. So this may be an insect-driven thing. I'll have to look it up, or maybe one of you guys already know. If you know, go ahead and put it in the comments. There's a bunch of these that seem to be only half ripe. I think I'm going to end up leaving a lot of these on here because a lot of them seem to have some sort of insect damage. Like I said, that could be what's going on here for the whole plant. And I'm fine with collecting things that has insect damage. I mean, the part of the plant part of the fruit that we eat on this is so small, and it's around the outside of this, the central part of the seed ball. I don't know. There's a bunch of seeds in the middle that I don't know that would impact, you know, much of the fruit because it is so thin. But yeah, we can leave some for the critters, right? These ones definitely have a little bit more thorny around the fruits. So I'm trying to brush those off as I go. Kind of like how cucumbers can be thorny on the fruits, and you can brush those off, you know, in the garden. I'll have to pay attention to these like next year and see what they look like. Hopefully by then I'll know what it is. This colander is working out pretty well. I wanted something small enough that I could collect. Like the elderberries they're the smallest thing that I don't think I'm getting to today, guys. But I was going to plan to do. I'll do that tomorrow. Well, I'll harvest the rest of these ones off camera because I figure you guys have seen probably enough of that. And when we get to different spots, I'll show you what they look like. Of course, as soon as I turn off the camera, I should find something to show you guys. A spider with its prey. Oh, it's hiding from me. Look how pretty it is. No idea if you guys can see that. I know. Hi, Spidey. Well, we'll leave you alone. Alright, we are back to blackberries. Did a bunch of rose hips at that last place. So we're not quite to the corner, but we're going to be doing a couple clumps next to the corner. So I'm going to be trying to keep a track of what I harvest when. I think by month. I might do early and late, like first month, last month. I don't know. I feel like if I do it daily, it might get lost in things. I might not end up doing it. But I think if I do like the first pick and last pick, which last pick could be hard to define because you don't know if it's last one yet. But that way I'll know what I have, and then once I know what I have, I'll know what gaps I have. So, like I know when I was at my other place, I had a gap in winter, and pineapple guava filled that gap. So Fajoas, pineapple guava, those fruit during winter. So I had fresh fruit during winter. Now it's going to be a little bit more challenging here because we actually have real winter here. But I want to see if I can close those gaps as much as possible, and then I can, you know, always eat preserved fruit as well. But having fresh fruit is awesome. Let's go to the next clump. So this is a huge blackberry bramble. I've been calling them clumps. They're brambles. And brambles because it's like, oh, how many plants is that? I don't know. It's a lot. So, not sure how far I can reach into the plant is the only thing. That's the only struggle with these brambles is they're brambles. They're not in an orderly fashion, so you can never reach like the middle and get the fruit. So let's see what I can reach and we'll go from there. You can definitely see these. Not very many right here. Oops. I'm getting stuck. So the trick to getting out of thorns is to roll, not to pull. So we should have a thing, roll, don't pull. Something has to rhyme with that too. I don't know, if you have ideas, put it in the comments. So again, there's a bunch in there, but not very many I can actually reach. Like one from that area. A lot of these other ones are quite dried, so I don't really need to get the dried ones. I'll go on the other side, see if we have anything, and then move on. Nope, that's it. Hopefully there's some in the next patch though, because we're going to the corner. Well, looks like I missed a bunch of them. That heat we got, that was it. The corner. Guys, all the ones I can reach look like this. They're dried up. Look at the ones right back there. Look at how many berries are back there. Look at that. And up there, but I can't reach that. Bummer. Okay, there's a few here on the eastern, I guess, side of the clump. So we'll get those. Majority of them are just dried up. We had some heat last week. Should have picked them when I was here before. Who else has ever said that in your garden or in the foraging? Oh, there's also snowberry in this clump. I did not write that down, I don't think. Honestly, guys, just to have any blackberries at the end of September is absolutely amazing. And I'm happy about that. There's some that aren't ripe yet still. Yeah, blackberries do not ripen off the vine, off the bramble, off the cane, whatever you want to call it. They don't get any riper, so don't, pick a red one and expect it to turn black. It's not going to. All right, next spot I think we have more blackberries, and then we'll head into what I'm calling the north pasture. I gotta come up with names for things, guys. Should name them fun things. North pasture is so boring. All right, we got matted down area here, which tells me something goes back and forth between here. And I'm walking in that area. And we have a bunch of blackberries in here. All right, let's get collecting. This would be a good case where those farmer sleeves would come in handy. I should have brought them out here. So far today, this is definitely the most abundant place for blackberries. And I think it's also the area that probably gets the wettest. I think this is where the two blue lines converge. And there's plenty of unripe berries, so this can be harvested again, for sure. It's just a little slow going because I have to hold this branch out of the way, or get stabbed in the back. Okay. There are others in here. However, I have been caught. So I'm going to move to the next step. Next area. Let go. Let go. Well, that's one way to get a hug, huh? There's so many ripe ones where I can't reach. It's amazing. So many. Look how many I missed, guys. I'll put you guys over here. Look how many I missed. A whole bunch of them are just dried up. I'm gonna have to do like a weekly pick, I think, out here. And I guess there's not enough wildlife to get them, but maybe the birds will get them in the winter. That's a potential. Have themselves some little dried fruits. And again, a lot of these are not ripe yet. So I think as long as it doesn't get too hot again, we'll have a lot more berries to pick. Alright, battery's about to run out, but I just have to show you guys all this. This one's blocking everything, but look what's behind it. Look at all those berries. Amazing. Now, could I collect the dried up ones and make juice out of them? Yeah, but they probably went they probably went alcoholic on you before they dried, so I'm not into that. They would not taste as good, for sure. Alright guys, so day one of this is over and I got quite a bit of blackberries, quite a bit of rose hips, and I'm going to start back here tomorrow, get more blackberries and more rose hips and some elderberries. Well, so much for separating them. Guess Mother Nature needed me to clean my floor. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. There's so much food out here. I have to make a part 2. So, hope you stick around for part 2 coming out next week. And if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and share with someone. Happy foraging!